couple of weeks ago on the show, we mentioned Phu Quoc, an island west of Ho Chi Minh City in the Gulf of Thailand. It's part of Vietnam. And we mentioned it as a potential destination for a travel bubble. Now, I don't know about these travel bubbles. They keep resurfacing. No pun intended, but I don't know if one has ever actually eventuated anywhere. You know, Thailand's tried what they called a sandbox in Phuket, but that I believe has failed miserably. And the rape and murder of a Swiss national this month gave it publicity for all the wrong reasons.
Yikes! I didn't know that.
Yeah, that happened.
What happened?
I believe the lady was already living in Thailand, I think, or she has a connection to Thailand. And she decided to take advantage of the sandbox situation in Phuket and went there and did the quarantining and whatever was required.
Yep.
And then I believe she went for a walk.
In the
went for a bit of a bushwalk. And they found her in a waterway.
That's crazy.
Naked.
Abused and
sad.
murdered.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to draw a correlation with a travel bubble or whatever to Phu Quoc, but I think in the case of Phuket that just sort of
bad timing
drove the nail in. Yeah. Anyway, it appears that the Vietnamese government isn't giving up on the hope that some kind of travel will resume to Phu Quoc as early as this October.
But why Phu Quoc specifically? Why not Hoi An or Da Nang or, I don't know, Nha Trang? Yeah, Vung Tau. Why Phu Quoc?
Well, it's an island. It's an island for a start, and it's got an international airport, and it already had all those international flights. You could, before COVID-19, you could fly in directly from Italy.
Oh, wow.
You know, I think there was a flight from London, definitely from Russia.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, various parts around Korea.
Taiwan,
you know,
I
so
think
all
as
the
well.
infrastructure's in. There are a ton of hotels and resorts. So the island can accommodate people. I don't know about the medical facilities though. I don't know what that's like. And the initial plan that was reported back in July stated that they wanted to trial a 6-month vaccine passport program on the island.
Okay.
And that they hoped to receive 40,000 foreign tourists during the period. They also plan to have 70% of the island's population vaccinated by next month. So that's, September? And the population on Phu Quoc apparently is about 180,000 people. So I think they could knock that over. I think they can vaccinate those guys, which begs the question, guys, given the events of this week in Ho Chi Minh City and what we've just been talking about with the news that's come in, do you see it happening?
Look, it could happen. I mean, if certain organizations really put their mind into doing it and ticking all the boxes, it will happen. But the question is, will people go? Because I won't.
Yeah, that's a good question, because like 100% flights will be way more expensive than what it once was. So you're automatically going to strike out quite a lot of people that can afford the flights in the first place.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also the safety, right? What about the safety? Like, people can forge documents. I mean, we know that already. Like, you know, people forging documents to go in between different districts right now. Like, you hear that in the news. So how are they going to manage it? But, oh man, I think there's bigger things, right, that you see. Like, you mentioned Phu Quoc. You also mentioned like Thailand's sandbox. And I think something that just happened recently that got announced is the green lanes between Singapore and Germany.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of that.
Yeah. So it only just got announced like a couple of days ago. But just under, like, there's going to be some travel lanes between the two countries, and it's only for like fully vaccinated travelers.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know how that's going to happen, but I think everyone's trying to push. A lot of people in Southeast Asia is trying to push. So, man, we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I think everyone's pretty keen to get it back for sure. Which brings us to vaccine passports. I get the feeling we'll see something like this in Ho Chi Minh City bars and restaurants, gyms, etc., wherever people congregate.
Yep.
Events,
Schools,
Andy, your events, maybe schools, possibly. I don't know. No idea about the schools. And yeah, that probably will depend on how vaccinations go and where we're at. But firstly, what do you think about that? And what do you think these passports will look like? And how will it be policed?
Well, that's the thing. Are these passports, these vaccination passports, they're only applicable, like the rules and regulations in Ho Chi Minh, or is it going to be the same policy in Hanoi?
Right.
And more importantly, is it going to be the same policy in Asia, throughout the world? Because like my mom got vaccinated in the Philippines with a brand that is not recognized or certified in the U.S.
Right.
So if she wanted to visit my sister and her family in the U.S., she might not be able to go because on her vaccination passport, the brand that she used is not accepted in the U.S. So I think that's a bigger picture. I'm thinking about that bigger picture.
Yep.
How about you, Andy?
Yeah. Same thing with you as well. Like how, one country will accept, only a certain type of vaccines applicable to others. Yeah, I don't know. And then also booster shots. What about that? Like how do you determine those other booster shots? Is it like a passport where, every time you get a booster shot, you get like a special virtual stamp on your vaccine passport that enables you? So yeah, a lot of questions they need to nut out.
And, I wanted to share an experience I had early this week. So I went to the clinic to get a skin issue check. I'm okay, by the way, if you're if you're wondering what that skin issue was. But I was waiting at the triage tent outside the clinic, and I was told that in order for me to see the GP, the general, what's a GP called? General practitioner, right?
Doctor.
Yeah, just the doctor who was on call. In order for me to see him, I had to take a rapid COVID test, and I had to pay for it. So they made me take the test. I paid for it. I had to wait for
How much was that?
About 350,000 Vietnam dong. So that was on top of what I paid to see the doctor and the medicine that he recommended for my skin issue. So it got me thinking, these so-called vaccine passports, they might be useless anyway, because look at that. I told the clinic people that, hey, I already got my vaccine. This is my certificate from the vaccine provider. And so they said, no, that means nothing. You still have to get the rapid COVID test in order to see the doctor. So it's not just in clinics. How about the other basic services, private services that might refuse to let people enter their premises?
And do they want to refuse people?
I know.
Especially after the lockdowns and how desperate business will be.
So yeah, that's another angle to this ever-growing, branch of issues.
Well, last week I ran a small online poll asking Bureau followers if they would be okay if vaccine passports were introduced in Vietnam for air travel, to eat at restaurants, drink at bars and attend events. 83% said yes.
All right.
17% said no. There weren't any reasons given, but it's quite a majority there.
What would you have voted for, Andy?
100% yes. I don't understand. I don't understand where the 17% said no. What's wrong with you? Like, are these civil libertarians? With this like I deserve my rights, my body, my right type of stuff. It's like, come on, mate. Just get your act together. We're a community. Yes, we have individual traits. We're a community at the end of the day. We've got to do what's best for the community. So get vaxxed. Show the vax. Like they say, man. If you want to be the best, you got to do the test, man. So just get yourself tested, vaxxed, and document it. You'll be sweet.